Right, so catching up with Jay Saunders after this weekend's defeat to Havant Waterlooville. Jay, you had the weekend to reflect on that match. What are your feelings now?
Obviously disappointment. I think for 85 minutes for probably longer than that, for 90 minutes, I thought we were going to win the game. I still look back and say, yeah, we've got to take our chances. Obviously the Callum Davies one. I think if that goes in, it kills the game off. You've also got, I think, Joe Healy's header. It definitely was a game of 2 hours. I think first half they put us under a lot of pressure with the conditions, the wind, and it was difficult. You can see from Wargs' kick getting out of our half was difficult.
It was a tough game. The conditions were very difficult in the first half. I think we was happy to come in at 0-0 with the pitch condition and the weather. It was really windy into our face in the first half. So to go in at 0-0 and not playing very well was a positive.
Second half, I thought we sort of it was a reverse on that, and we looked comfortable once we got our goal.
And then obviously we nicked a goal from a set piece and looked like we was just going to, like we've done all season, really hold on to a 1-0 win and take the 3 points. But it wasn't to be, unfortunately, which is frustrating.
We didn't kill them off, and certainly I think the sending off has kind of given them. I was chatting to Lee Bradbury after the game, and he was sort of saying that it sort of gave him a little bit of hope. He felt that the game was sort of dead and buried for them, but yeah, it just gave them that bit of hope. And unfortunately, once they scored the first one, you could see that they were in the ascendancy then, and unfortunately for us, we couldn't hang on.
You could feel it coming, really. I think once they scored the first goal, they had him to sort of move on and try and get the second, and we looked a bit nervy, and we sat back, which invited them to come on to us and put some decent balls in our box. And unfortunately, it was a bit of a lucky ricochet. I think Joe Healy tried to clear it and it's just clipped him, which then deflected it away from Callum, and their centre forward went round the back and put it in. So there was a lot of things that happened on both build-ups to the goals that we could have got away with a couple of individual decisions that didn't go our way. But it's football, unfortunately, and like you say, hopefully it swings and roundabouts and you get a winner last minute and you celebrate, and the week after, unfortunately, it's gone against you. But we're on a good run of form, and I'm sure we'll bounce back from the loss.
24 minutes in, Jamie Coyle comes off with the injury, and it's, we've got good backup in Manny there, but it's that experience, isn't it, that Jamie brings that back for that can be so vital in games such as that one.
Yeah, man, I thought Manny come on did very well, to be honest. I thought he had a good game when he came on Saturday, and he's been great for us all season. But Corley has been, he's that bit of experience back there, that bit of leadership and that cool head, if you like, and yeah, he'll be missed.
I just went into a block tackle with their centre forward and just jarred my knee slightly, so touch wood, it's not too bad. I've got to see the physio tomorrow. Once the swelling's gone down, then find out from there on how long I'll be out for.
Hopefully it's not too bad. I know he's sore still at the moment. Hopefully after a sort of week's rest it will ease down a little bit, but middle of a tricky one. It's a similar injury, I think, to what Alex Brown had earlier in the season, and it can go one way or the other. So yeah, it's kind of fingers crossed with him.
It's very sore at the moment and swollen, so I mean hopefully it'll just be a couple of weeks. Touch wood, in best case scenario I think it'll be 2 weeks, but I'm usually a fairly quick healer, so hopefully it'll be no longer than 2 weeks.
He will be missed, but at the same time we just got to do a little bit of work with Callum and Manny, and do you know what, it's they've got to step up to the plate basically, and I'm sure they will, and that's all we can do. But yeah, like I say, fingers crossed that Corley's not too bad.
Obviously, you have to be careful what we say about official decisions. Obviously, they have to make a snap judgment there and then. But obviously, you've had the benefit of seeing it back on the video. I guess it's difficult to accept seeing it back, and especially in slow motion.
Yeah, do you know what? I went and saw the ref after the game. The first one for me is a good tackle. There was a lot of bad tackles in that during the game that went sort of missing and without being cautioned. And I think the ref, he looked like he didn't want to book no one on the day, and you think, well, okay, if you're going to do that, you've got to do it throughout the game. Dan's got to learn, obviously, not to question it and not to keep arguing, because it don't get you nowhere. But I suppose that's the young, sort of inexperienced side of it. The second one, when I spoke to the ref after the game, he said he didn't see it. He went on the linesman's call, and the linesman felt that Dan was reckless and out of control and off the deck. So, which I knew he wasn't at the time. So that's when it becomes frustrating. Maybe Dan doesn't need to be going in that area. I suppose again it's just that sort of youthfulness that he wants to go and try and win the ball, but he's not really made an attempt to win the ball, and the lads sort of kicked it down the line and gone down screaming. And it's disappointing because at that point it did change the game and it gave them hope. And yeah, you look back and it shows you how quick things can change in football. But we just got to move on. I think a disappointing thing for me is we're on a good sort of unbeaten run, good bit of form. And I thought it was going to be another 3 points, but it changed very quickly, and all we can do is now dust ourselves down and move on and look forward to the next one.
And after a couple of away fixtures on quite heavy pitches, at least you know you're coming back here Saturday on the 3G. You know what it does week in, week out. And hopefully that'll be a good opportunity to get back to winning ways.
Yeah, we've got to bounce back, and I think that's most important. We're in a good position still to sort of be where we are. It's a defeat. We've gone 7 games unbeaten, so it's not end of the world. And it does feel like that because we've conceded 2 late goals. But all we can do is sort of take the positives out of it. And for 90 minutes, we were okay. We were quite comfortable, and that's what we've got to look at. And we'll go through things this week. But we know, like you say, Saturday it's a home game. Hopefully a good crowd. I think the picture suits a little bit more, and yeah, it's something we can look forward to.